This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hey JoJo's Crime Lines and Mysteries. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Thank y'all for being here. Kimmy D, Crystal Burns, Edith, the Bellas. May Justice Rule, Snarky Pants, Miss Scorpio Rising. Thank you for the membership. Cara, Kimmy D, there's Miss Scorpio's membership. Corey Edwards is here. Cindy from sunny South Florida is here. Thank you for the memberships. That was so very sweet of you. Lori Ann is here. Let me access my live while I'm doing this. Hey, Amy. Good to see you. I saw that Snarky Pants is also here, y'all. We've got a lot to discuss this here day. We do. I've been sent some things. I saw some things just now that are breaking, like literally right now, that I did not even put in the thumbnail. People have sent me things. We're gonna be talking about a lot of things and speculating and sharing our thoughts and opinions. Ashley, good to see you. Southern Cats, good to see you. Corey Edwards, good to see you. Cuff you, hello, good to see you. Tom's here. Kim's here. Good to see y'all. One Sunny Day, Jenny Jen, Jennifer Sube loves that song. A lot of people like that song. I think it's nice to get it started. You've been following the Devil's Den case. I think that he was after the little girls and mom and dad went out like heroes saving their babies. I think so. Parabola, good to see you. So yeah, let me jump back to the memberships. So Miss Cindy from sunny South Florida was so sweet and came in and dropped in gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. And those went to Capital K Productions, Emma Caparino, Collateral Damage, South Philly Lily, and Coney Island. If you were gifted and you are aware you were gifted from Miss Cindy from sunny South Florida, please tell Miss Cindy thank you. Thank you, Miss Cindy. And I'll grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you, Miss Cindy. And then Miss Scorpio Rising was so sweet and came through and dropped a membership that is right here. And that went to Emily. Emily, if you are where you were gifted from Miss Scorpio, please tell Miss Scorpio thank you. Thank you, Miss Scorpio. And I will grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. That was awesome of y'all. So I do want to show y'all, I've got like 2 things that are breaking right now. Hey, Lori. My parrot Echo and I dance to the opening song. He's adorable. Aw. I've had several birds in my lifetime and they are awesome. I love them very much. All right. So we're going to start with something that's kind of breaking right now real quick. Yesterday we talked about the quadruple homicide where the baby was left in the yard. We have the person named. Oh, I'm showing y'all Icked Mails. Look at what Icked Mail found. This is inside their house. I don't know where he got this from. This is from Icked Mail. I'll drop his link real quick. But the suspect has been named. His name is Austin Drummond. He is the one responsible for the quadruple homicide that where the little baby was found in the yard in Tennessee, where they dropped the baby off in the yard and then 4 people were murdered 40 minutes away. I'm going to play this first part for y'all real quick. I'm going to mute that. This is inside their house, I think. And it doesn't appear that anything, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if it's their house or what it is, but.
There's a manhunt.
Hold on.
Crazy, weird story I've been hearing about for a little bit too. There's a massive manhunt. They are searching for this guy. And I guess now the guy.
So that's either the guy who committed the homicides house or the people who were found deceased. I don't know. I saw that and I was like, what in the world is that? So this is behind the story, the search for a killer in West Tennessee. Here's our man of interest. That's his picture. It's man wanted in connection with quadruple homicide involving the abandoned infant. So I'm going to play this and we can see what they say real quick.
Ever wondered about the science behind a knock? ABC Legal does more than knock on doors.
Hey there, a good Thursday.
So this is a case we covered yesterday. A baby, a beautiful little girl, was found in a yard in the car seat. Somebody dropped the baby off during a heat wave in a car seat in the yard and rolled out, okay? And then it's actually 26 miles away. The counties are 26 miles away. 26 miles away, 4 people were found murdered, deceased, okay? And the 4 people was the baby's mama and daddy, the daddy's mama, so the grandma, and then the baby's uncle. All of these people were found dead. And yesterday we talked about it. We were trying to figure out if the family dropped the baby off because they knew what was going to happen, or if the person who killed them dropped the baby off because he couldn't kill the baby. We didn't know. So his name is Austin Drummond. Drummond? Drummond. And we're going to see what they found out about it. This is breaking right now.
Thursday morning to you, everybody. Welcome in here to the WSMV4 Plus streaming studio.
It is so
Lydia
weird.
Fielder here today for a segment of Behind the Story with our reporter Dryden Quigley. So Dryden's in today to talk to us about a story that's really captured the attention of the state of Tennessee this week, and it's a very sad and serious story here. Hard to hear some of these details, so just know that off the top of this here, if you have little ears in the room, but you might have already heard about this. It's 4 people who were killed. Investigators are calling them homicides, and they were connected to a baby that was found abandoned 40 miles away. This is
okay. We did it yesterday, and it showed the counties are 26 miles apart, but evidently it was like maybe the opposite ends of each county, 40 miles away. Hey, Jerry, this is near a very popular lake. This time of year, very busy. My heart aches for the families affected. It's really sad. Yeah, I know. And that's what happened. Somebody came out and found a baby on their lawn. So they called the law, and the law was looking for the baby. Like, I don't know. I think it's in my emails, but a beautiful little girl, beautiful, adorable, looking for who the parents were. And little did they know the next county over, well, the whole family's murdered. SD says he had beef with the family. That's what I figured.
It's all happening as now TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, is searching for a suspect. So that's where I want Dryden to come in and pick up here to talk about what you've been following, Dryden, in this story, and kind of give us just any more background that you want to add before I play your story that ran yesterday. I know we're still just working really with a lot of basic details here this morning.
Yeah, do we want to go over some of the new details now, or should we wait to do that?
Yeah, let's show that story first, maybe, and then we can talk about what's new coming out of it today.
Perfect. But yeah, the gist is it started on Tuesday afternoon around 3 when police got a call that a baby had been found strapped to a car seat, left in a stranger's yard. Luckily, the baby was completely uninjured.
Right,
She's in the
Pandora.
hospital where she's checked out.
And that's
She's a
the
little
baby there.
And see, this was the picture that was circulating yesterday of the baby that was left strapped in the car seat in somebody's front yard during the heat wave. She was taken to the hospital and she was fine. And they're trying to locate her parents, and then they figure out that they've been the mama, the daddy, the grandma, and the uncle, who was 15 years old. A 15-year-old was homicided a county away. This little precious angel right here lost her mama, her daddy, her grandma, and her uncle, and was left in the yard during a heat wave.
7-month-old girl. They put out her photo because they were trying to figure out who she was. No one could figure out who this baby was, where she came from.
Hey,
But then it was a few hours later that they made this horrific discovery about 45 minutes away, 45-minute away drive. So the baby was left in Tigray.
So this is the uncle. This is the 15-year-old boy. I think this is the mom and dad, and that might be the grandma, or it might be another picture of the mom. But the way the pictures have been shown so far is that's definitely the mom, that's definitely the dad, and that's definitely the uncle. So that might be the grandma with a face filter or something. She looks relatively young regardless. So I know it's so sad and heartbreaking. I'm hoping that maybe her parents are still alive, the baby's maternal grandparents, and can raise her so she stays in the family. I don't know. And imagine being them, finding out your daughter, her husband, that side of his family is deceased. Oh my God, I just can't. They are like really young. Grandma was 38, says Corey. My goodness.
And then these bodies were found in Tiptonville.
Okay, so we'll play that story, just kind of going over again the background, hearing from some folks in that area and investigators on this case. And then we'll come back here with Dryden to talk about exactly
Hey, Indy.
what we're learning this morning.
On Tuesday afternoon, a homeowner in Dyer County called the sheriff's office to report that there was an infant left stranded in a car seat in their yard. The 7-month-old girl was taken to a hospital to be checked out and was found to be uninjured. Then, a few hours later, 4 bodies were found about 45 minutes away in Lake County. They were just identified as the baby's father, 21-year-old Matthew Wilson, and mother, 20-year-old Adriana Williams, as well as the baby's maternal grandmother, 38-year-old Courtney Rose, and her maternal uncle, 15-year-old Braden Williams. Police have not said who found them or how they died.
The investigation, including efforts to identify and apprehend a suspect or suspects, remains active and ongoing. Local residents are asked to remain vigilant and report any information to local authorities.
Melissa Peel lives on Carrington Road where the bodies were found and said it's usually a quiet place.
To know that murderers come down through here, yeah, it's scary.
The road comes to a dead end there and people love to hike and bird watch. She hopes whoever did this is caught soon.
So again, he has been caught. His name is Austin Drummond. Right when I was coming live, I found 2 short news or videos on YouTube about it. One of them was like 40 seconds ago posted when I was coming live, and it had no views yet. So this is very new, very breaking. SD said it would have to be the baby's paternal extended family because Weslin's mom's mom, the maternal grandmother, and maternal uncle are dead. I thought it was the paternal grandmother and paternal uncle. Paternal uncle. I thought it was his side, his mother and his brother. So it's her mother and brother then? It would have to be the paternal side then? Supposedly this guy's grandma's sister's ex-boyfriend? Really? That's interesting. Hey, Shin, good to see you. Yeah, he has been caught. Austin was big mad, unfortunately. They think that he is the only one that, probably, because if he had a gun or something. It's her mama and her brother. Okay, so maybe the parents on the dad's side can take the baby. Hopefully.
Who could have done that? Who could have left a baby at it somewhere with strangers outside in this heat? Who would do that?
On Tuesday
All right,
afternoon,
so we are back here live with Dryden now. The story went over the basic details that we had yesterday, and it also did identify by name the people that were found dead, but we've got new information coming out overnight into this morning, Dryden, and we can pick up there.
Yeah, we got some new photos of these victims, and just to explain one more time, because it's a little bit complicated how they're all related to each other, it's the baby's mom, the dad, and then the baby's mom's mom, the grandma, and then the baby's mom's brother, who's a 15-year-old. And so this is a photo of the 4 of them. Up there, it's Adriana Williams, Matthew Wilson,
Thank you,
Courtney
Jerry.
Rose and Braden Williams is in the lower right corner. So the four of them. And again, we're still working to learn. A lot of the questions are unknown. We even tried to ask TBI yesterday, who found these bodies? Were they in a car? How are they found? How are they killed? We have none of that information. So but we do have a sister station out there in Memphis. And so she was able to physically go out there because it's about 3 hours away from Nashville and go talk with neighbors who live on the street where these bodies were found. And they said that it's a quiet road. It actually ends in a dead end and there's a lake there. And so that area is where they were found. We know that TDOT came out and towed away 2 different cars and that the coroner was on scene yesterday around like 5 o'clock. And so that was all going on during our newscasts yesterday. But again, as to why they were targeted, how they were killed. Yeah,
we don't know. And I think it's important to point out that yesterday we were talking that you were also asking questions, or reporters were asking questions of, hey, is the community in any danger here? We have since received an update on that. First being that police investigators believe this was not random, that this was a targeted attack, right?
Exactly.
I'm going to switch over here real quick to show you guys who the suspect is that is wanted in this. This is our guy right here. His name is Austin Drummond. And it said, this is from Fox Nashville. It says, man saw in West Tennessee quadruple homicide where baby found abandoned. Here are some photos of him and his car. And these photos are from the Dyer County Sheriff's Office. There's the baby. And there he is again. That looks like a mugshot. And it doesn't say the name, but ICID has him as Austin Drummond. Durrmond. This is from that guy that I was talking about yesterday that had my video. Dyer County Sheriff's Office has confirmed the 4 individuals found dead in Lake County are related to the baby that was left in a stranger's front yard in Tigeret. Family has also confirmed that the mom, dad, grandma, and uncle are deceased, and there's pictures of them. There they are at the baby shower. I thought that was a cute picture. They're so young. Hey, Zan. I know. It's like, how are you even that age? They look young to me. I was looking for more on the guy. I saw this and wanted to share it with you. It appears to show the truck. It says search for quadruple murders is underway here in Tennessee. Here's the latest on the disturbing case of the abandoned baby that turned horribly tragic. The child has now lost both parents. This morning, investigators continue to work a crime scene in Lake County. That's where 4 bodies are found. 21-year-old Matthew Wilson, the baby's father, Adriana Williams, the baby's mother, 38-year-old Courtney Rose, the baby's maternal grandmother, and 15-year-old Braden Williams, the baby's maternal uncle. I've learned that 2 vehicles were towed away by the TBI yesterday from the crime scene, and one other, a 1988 Ford 150, believed to be driven by Matthew Wilson, is missing. This is going to be that vehicle that's missing. You see the photo of the red and white pickup truck here. Finding that vehicle could be critical to the investigation and is possibly driven away by the killer or killers. So evidently they're looking for this vehicle still, and that's Matthew's old truck. Grandma's baby is only 38. Mom is 21. Yeah, very young. Hey, Miss King. I do, but I don't know. I don't want to put that on them, but yeah, I do. If I'm just speculating, yeah, absolutely. Hey, Thea and Roman, good to see you. Them old trucks like that, I love me an old truck like that. They might look like a beater, but that thing will take a licking and keep on ticking, let me tell you. So there they are. Look at, God, they're so young. Look at her and her little sassy self. Ain't it precious? Hey, Grave. It's strange how he got them all to drive out there in their own vehicles to the very remote road. It is. I could see it being possible if it is drug related or something. I don't know. I mean, but even at that, it seems like, one would go and one would come back. I don't know. It's very curious. We'll go back to the news article and listen.
And I think that's really, really important. And, that's a key question that we're always trying to get to as fast as we can, because that's what you need to know right now if you live in the area.
Really want.
And so, obviously, should I be,
Make it.
is there someone going around here targeting random people? That's terrifying. Not that this isn't also terrifying, but they didn't respond to that question. They said that they weren't, all they could say was that they were investigating. And so to hear that information, now that it was a target attack is something new. And so I know when they were talking with people yesterday who live on that street, it was terrifying to the idea that a murderer is just could be right around the corner.
I didn't even think about that, SD. SD said, my guess is maybe he held the baby hostage to get them to comply. And, over here, we speculate. We don't know what happened, and so we speculate about it. That could be possible. Maybe he said, I have the baby, and if you don't all come out here or whatever, I'm not going to give you the baby back. And he dropped the baby off in the yard, got them all to come out, and committed the homicides. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Shaker said, I'll keep the baby. Poor baby. I hope that, that baby's not even going to remember how much her parents loved her or anything. She's just going to have the pictures.
Let's talk about the timeline here. I want to dissect that a little bit further, because I was also hearing, and this could be speculation, maybe just chatter in the newsroom, that these bodies maybe were out for some time while this investigation continued. I don't know if you had heard that. I didn't mention that to you before we started here, but even just the timeline of the baby being dropped and then when the bodies were found and how long it took to connect those.
Sorry. Yes, you're correct. I'm not sure how long they were out there for before being found, but they were because so this all happened. Today's Thursday. This happened on Tuesday around 3. They got the call for the baby. And again, this is 45 minutes away. So I'm not really sure how, I guess it took them a minute to connect this as well. I'm not sure exactly what time the bodies were found, but it was later that day. And so this all happened on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, yesterday, we were reporting about it. And we know that the TBI had the whole area shut down and they were continuing to investigate.
So we're about to see a map of the area. They got the call about the baby around 3 o'clock. Hey, Norma, good to see you.
Until 5 p.m. is when the coroner arrived on the scene. And so
I've got this map pulled up while you're talking about it. Okay, so here's Arkansas, the Mississippi here, Memphis is here. So
right
we're
on the
over
line
in Nashville. This is right on the state line here. So this here.
If you scroll down a little more for the...
Oh, I see. I had the lower third in the way. This, thank you, Dryden, is where the baby was found abandoned.
Exactly. And it was a stranger's yard. And
wow.
At first, I think people were jumping. It's a good lesson also not to be jumping to conclusions, because people were taking to social media and were like, how dare someone leave a baby in a random yard? It's 100 degrees out. It's really hot. How dangerous. If you're going to abandon your baby, you should bring it to somewhere.
Okay, let me just say that over here where we cover cases where babies get homicided all the time, I don't give a shit where you leave a baby. If you feel like you need to leave a baby or that you're going to hurt that baby, leave that baby wherever you need to leave that baby, because somebody's going to find that baby. I don't even care where you leave the baby. Just leave the baby so the baby lives, please. Thank you.
But I think it became very clear that this is not a choice that these parents made, that they would not have chosen to leave their baby.
Right.
So I think they're thinking along the lines of that he left the baby there either before or after he committed the homicides. And the other thing is if it is drug or substance related, it makes me so sad, right? Because everybody does things when they're young and dumb and you never think it's going to take your life. And then if this was over something so stupid as drugs, like somebody owed somebody money or somebody was going to rob somebody. I mean, your whole life, you're number one, the person who committed this is spending the rest of their life in prison, possibly death penalty, because it's 4 people and a whole entire generation was taken out. And a infant does not have their family. all over something stupid like drugs or robbing somebody for them or drug money that's owed or robbing somebody or whatever the case may be. Like it's not worth it. It makes me so angry. The baby is okay. Yes, the baby is okay. Thank God. Hey, Max.
So speculating on that, how the baby ended up there.
And
is, you would imagine whoever had contact in murdering this family.
Yeah. Could have dropped. I don't know if that happened first.
Right.
We don't know if the baby.
I mean, that's what everyone's mind then would go to, right? Is, oh, okay, if these two are connected, police are saying they are, then does that mean that the killer in this situation put the baby there first and then murdered people, murdered the family, saw the baby, then took the baby away?
Yeah, the timeline
so
is
many
really
questions.
so many questions. And the fact that it's a 15-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old, and 38-year-old. I mean,
so yeah, we're wondering if the killer left the baby there and then committed the homicide or left the baby there after committing the homicide. SD said last night law enforcement said the drug task force is not involved in the case, so it might not be drug related. That I don't know if the baby's going to remember anything, but the baby lost mom, dad, uncle, and grandma, and is only going to remember them through pictures now, all over something probably really freaking stupid. It's sad.
I mean, just so sad.
Sad
so
either
young,
way, but very young in this instance.
Exactly.
You think after?
You know, it's hard to look at these photos and think, wow, there was. First of all, there's grandma in this set of photos and an uncle and then this sweet little baby's face.
And I did have, he isn't up for talking yet, which is completely understandable, but I messaged a little bit with the father of Matthew Wilson, whose name is also Matthew. And he just said, you know, we have no words.
Yeah.
And
as
so
you would,
which
it's
is
such an unimaginable thing to face.
So dad's dad, grandpa, on the dad's side said that he has no words at the moment. I mean, you wouldn't. SD said, I think he left the baby after the crime. And that would make sense because if they are all coming out there in different vehicles, the same vehicle or whatever, I mean, yeah, they're going to take the baby. They're not going to leave the baby at home like some of these people do. They seem like good parents. So, yeah, it's probably after the crime and he didn't kill the baby. If the baby wasn't there, though, I believe there's an imprint of violence. If the baby was there, there could be. I don't know that she would remember it. Maybe. I don't know if it's possible to remember something that happened when you're 7 months old. Like, I can't remember anything from before the time I was 5. And when I was 5, my parents got divorced. So I don't know if that's why. It's weird. But some people can remember as far back as like 1 or 2. So maybe. Kim Beasy said, I wonder if there was a question of paternity. I don't know. Probably not. Some guy isn't going to drive a baby 49 miles and then go back to kill lunacy. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless he's like, you know, I've got the baby and I'm not going to tell you where the baby's at. But I mean, yeah, it makes more sense that the baby was probably there and then left it. I can barely remember what I did last year. Yeah, my short-term memory is not that great, but I can't remember yesterday most days. Y'all are funny.
Understandable that, you know, you're processing all of this and trying to.
No one should see their own child die before them. I think it's important too to talk a little bit about this collaborative effort between our newsrooms. So as you saw on that map, we are in Middle Tennessee. This was happening in West Tennessee, right? So I would love for you to break down a little bit more of this collaborative effort of how we gather content from other stations, how you were talking to the reporter while she was out on scene, and how information gets shared. And so that when you were listening to the press conference, it was through Memphis's camera, right?
Exactly. So we, you know, made the decision or decided not to go out there. It's about a 3-ish hour drive. So it probably would have been maybe an overnight stay if we were going out there. Maybe we will in the future. You know, that's something that could happen. But for now, we relied on WMC, our sister station in Memphis. And in particular, I was talking with Michaela Redmond. She was the reporter who was out there with her photographer doing the footwork. I mean, she really did a lot of work for this, going and trying to talk with neighbors, being on the scene. TBI had a pretty unexpected press conference yesterday. It happened really quickly. And so, she was texting me like, oh, they're about to start. So we were able to look at, and it's a different experience being able to, I've looked at maps. I understand.
I skipped it ahead because they were just talking. I was trying to see if there was some kind of press conference.
The area and looked at on Google, Street View, and as you can see, it's a very wooded area. But for her to actually be out there getting a sense of the community, how many houses are around there, is really invaluable as well. And for her to be passing that along to me, she was very, very busy. So for her to be sharing any details was really, really helpful for us back here too.
Yeah, and these are things that we, in these types of stories, if we are watching, this is the same way that we would watch a national story happening states away.
Skip it ahead
to monitor the local area. They are relying on us to do what she did for you, which is
things at once, get me video, get things like that. But yes, I've been in the situation also where we're trying to do live shots.
They're talking about getting this person who went out there to get the information, but I want the information, so I was skipping it ahead a little bit.
As a gray media group reporter.
Okay.
Love for you to talk about this too. This is a very behind the scenes look. I was anchoring last night at the 4:00 hour. Dryden was to report on this story in that same hour. But like you said, that the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, came up with a press conference pretty unexpectedly. So you were running from your desk, watching that press conference, out to the studio.
All right, let me see if I can find the TBI press conference on this. Real quick, sorry. Hold on just a minute. Again, 11. Got one from 11 minutes ago. We'll watch that real quick, or look at the article. If it stops jumping, it says nearly a dozen agencies are looking for a man investigators say killed for relatives of a Tennessee baby who was found abandoned alive this week in sweltering heat, authorities said Thursday. Austin Robert Drummond, Drummond. Give me just a minute to write that down so we can see what we can find on him. AUSTIN ROBERT DRUMMOND, 28 years old, is wanted in connections in the deaths of James Wilson, James Wilson, who was 21, Adriana Williams, who was 20, Courtney Rose, who was 38, and Braden Williams, who was 15, whose bodies were found Tuesday in Tiptonville, a town northwest of Tennessee's Lake County. The TBI said, I'm going to click on this and see if it gives me that presser. So it's not the presser, but it is the actual flyer for him. And real quick, this one says special agents from TBI in coordination with a variety of local, state, and federal authorities have identified a suspect charged in connection with a quadruple homicide in Tiptonville. TBI agents obtained warrants for Austin Robert Drummond. Date of birth. We got a date of birth. Let's get that. August 31st, 1996. Okay. Charging him with 4 counts of first-degree homicide, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, 4 counts of felon in possession of a firearm, so that tells me they were shot, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. Ooh, that's a lot right there. Okay, so more than likely they were shot, and if I had to guess, I would say that since it's I'll get it in a minute. Since it's a felon in possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, more than likely it was a robbery. If I had to guess, again, we are speculating. It's allegedly speculating because we are speculating. The commission of a dangerous felony is more than likely robbery or drug related. I don't know. SD said it will be interesting to find out what this is all about. Why eliminate 4 people? Why have issues with all 4 people? Yes, it will. I do click back and forth between pages. Hey, Lewis. So, if I miss anything, oh, yep, see, I miss things because I'm clicking back and forth between pages. Grave Adventures of Nurse Jenny. Thank you so much for becoming a member. That was so awesome and sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. And I will pick you up on the way to Speculation Station with the Crazy Train. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Thank you so much, Grave. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Hey, Abraham. Robbery, but why have them all drive out in their own vehicles to that remote location? That's a good question. What do you think, SD? Oh, Lewis, you just became a new member. Thank you, Lewis. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. I will grab the Crazy Train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you, Lewis. I should have said Lois. I didn't mean Lewis. I was reading it wrong. Lois, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hey, Barrow. All right, I'm going to click back, and I'll look for what your answer is, SD. Tom said he probably lured them out there somehow. I believe so. Miss Scorpio said, I wouldn't be surprised if the public defender and prosecutor put a gag order on the case. There are some very good reasons to do that. They might. Continuing with this, at this time, Drummond remains at large and should be considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information concerning his whereabouts is asked to call 731-415-7962, 731-333-0811, or 1-800-TBI-FIND. At the request of the 29th District Attorney General Danny Goodman, TBI special agents began investigating the crime that occurred Tuesday along with Carrington Road in Tiptonville. The deceased individuals have been identified as James M. Wilson, who is 21, Adriana Williams, 20, Courtney Rose, 38, and Braden Williams, 15. Agencies working alongside the TBI in this case include Tiptonville Police Department, the Lake County Sheriff's Department, the Dyer County Sheriff's Department, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, the Tennessee State Parks, and Tennessee Highway Patrol, the Jackson Police Department, the Crockett County Sheriff's Department, the U.S. Marshals, Two Rivers Violent Fugitive Task Force, and the FBI. Good Lord in the morning, they got everybody on it. That was like 12 agencies. Goodness. Hey, Becky. It's a real head scratcher. Interesting that he's supposedly an ex-boyfriend of the grandma's sister, but that's not verified. It is interesting. I'd love to find where they found that out. All right, we're going to jump back to this article, and then we'll go back to the little news segment. Okay. The four were found deceased after Wilson's and Adriana's. Okay. The four were found dead hours after Wilson and Adriana Williams' baby daughter was found abandoned Tuesday afternoon in a car seat in a random front yard near the Dyer County community of Tigeret, nearly a 40-mile drive southeast of Tiptonville, authorities said. The TBI hasn't said what led it to name Drummond as a suspect or whether investigators know of a motive in the homicides or why the baby was abandoned a county away from where the bodies were found. Rose was the baby's maternal. Okay, wait a minute now. I'm thinking that he committed the homicides. Let's say that we find out he is the, ex-boyfriend of the grandma's sister. And he had issues with the family. Like, he probably has children himself, and he couldn't leave that baby out there where he knew the baby would die. So maybe in an attempt to make sure the baby didn't die, he took the baby with him and drove trying to figure out what the hell to do. And then was like, I can't be tied to this, so I'm going to leave the baby where it can be found. Because down that dirt road, I mean, you can see it a little bit here, but it showed like a very wooded area. That baby wouldn't have been found out there. And it would have died. More than likely. Just made myself a huge CIF. What is that? I haven't seen Chow or Michael either. I hope you feel better, Max. I don't know what's going on. Creamer with coffee. Oh, okay. All right, continuing with this one over here. Rose was the baby's maternal grandmother, and Braden Williams is the baby's maternal uncle, according to Danny Goodman, district attorney for Dyer and Lake counties. Quote, the victims were all from Dyer County, and we suspect that the person that killed them knew all of them, unquote. Goodman, who also confirmed Wilson and Adriana Williams were the baby's parents, told CNN Thursday. Warrants for Drummond, who, quote, should be considered armed and dangerous, unquote, have been issued, charging him with 4 counts of first-degree homicide, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, 4 counts of felon in possession of a firearm, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, the TBI said. And again, I think that he was robbing them. I really do. There's a close-up of him. That is our man that is wanted. That's the man that left the baby. Again, that charge, basically felon in possession of a firearm right here. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony tells me it was probably a robbery. The investigation began Tuesday afternoon when the baby was found in a car seat in a front yard near Tigeret, the Dyer County Sheriff's Office said. Investigators, spurred by a 911 caller who saw the child, were checking reports that a, quote, dark-colored minivan or white mid-sized SUV had left the baby there. The sheriff's office said the heat index was 116 degrees. God almighty. Hours after the baby's abandonment, the sheriff's office announced 4 people were found dead in Tiptonville. The bodies were found Tuesday along Tiptonville's Carrington Road, the TBI said without elaborating. The TBI, when CNN contacted it with questions about the investigation, referred only to its news releases. The releases do not detail how the 4 were killed, how they were found, whether investigators know of a motive, or who may have left the baby in the yard near Tigeret. Quote, this is a deeply saddening day for our community, unquote, Dyer County Sheriff's Jeff Box said in a Facebook post on Tuesday. Quote, we are committed to uncovering the truth and ensuring justice is served, unquote. CNN's Gene Norman contributed to this report. For more, go to CNN.com and we'll look at that. There's our dude in the Devil's Den case right there on the page. Jojo. He does have some really dead eyes. Okay. So they met out somewhere. I'm thinking he somehow, like SD said, got them to go out there, and hold on, I'm checking to see if we can. Good gracious. I'm thinking he somehow got them to go out there, and that's where he more than likely allegedly committed a robbery of some sort, if I had to guess, and then they probably had the baby with him, and he took the baby and dropped it off, which if he did do that, I do appreciate the fact that he didn't kill the baby. I do. I mean, I you know, it's horrible what happened, but the baby could have been a victim as well, and thank God the baby wasn't. If he did take the baby and drop the baby off in the yard after committing the homicides, at least the baby's not dead. Miss Scorpio Rising, thank you for getting a membership. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. That went to Julie G0741. Julie, if you are here and you are aware Miss Scorpio gave you a membership, please tell Miss Scorpio thank you. Thank you, Miss Scorpio. I will grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so much, Miss Scorpio. Tom, they did charge him with aggravated kidnapping. That was in the list of charges. Yes, sir. All right, we'll continue with these women talking here.
And getting us the latest.
Yes, exactly. I mean, sometimes that's how it happens because we never want to be giving you information that is outdated if we have the newest information. And so that was happening around. Am I getting my time? I think it happened.
See, they're like, the police blocked this road off right here, and their vehicles are going way back there. Now, if he had just left that baby in the car way back there, that baby would be dead. Poor thing. So either thank God he left the baby in the yard and didn't leave the baby back there, if that's what he did.
But at 3:55 or 3:55. And so I was on air at 4:02. And so that is just a tight turn. Obviously the press conference started at 3:56.
See, there's the drone footage. If that baby was back there, that baby wouldn't have been found before it died of a heat stroke. Pepper, thank you for becoming a member. That was so sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Y'all, our members, our new members, I'm doing a video right now of how I make my dehydrated pumpkin pie flavoring for my coffee in the fall. I'm gonna show y'all how to make that because the squash bugs got my damn pumpkins and I had to cut them off the vine and they're so small. And so what I did with them was I dehydrated them to make my stuff. So I got a video I'm working on that. So y'all will get to see that. So Pepper, thank you for becoming a member. And I hope that you like the videos that y'all all get to watch now about my more personal life. I'm going to grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you again, sweetheart. I really appreciate it. What would be an aggravating factor to the murder counts too? I think robbery, felon in possession of a firearm during the commission of a robbery. That's what I think. Yeah, them damn squash bugs piss me off. Hey, Kane's Nana. Oh, if y'all don't mind, please set the thumbs up. The thumbs up. All right, let's get back to this.
So I was out there just listening to it, and then I ran into the studio to try to give you all the latest information. They didn't say anything particularly new in that press conference, but you want to have that information. But it was going on live as I was talking about it on air. Something else I just wanted to say too, which I think is important when you're talking about the collaboration between different stations, is that we really, really value obviously being correct when we put out any information. Right. And so, especially with this case, there was a ton of rumors and things circulating online, especially what time the baby was found, where the bodies were found, all this stuff that hadn't been fact checked. And so to have someone on the ground giving you stuff that is told to her by the TBI and waiting to make sure that these are the correct identities, the correct people, is really, really important to us too, because I know some stuff was on social media before necessarily the news broke, but we want to be correct rather than,
And that's a big thing for me. Like, I try to make sure that anything I bring y'all is the truth. I actually felt kind of bad about posting the picture of that Devil's Den guy and asking if you guys thought it was him. But to be fair, I didn't put his name. Like, I'm not going to post somebody's name and be like, do you think that, John Long Q is the killer of this person and not know for sure? I'd rather be accurate. Like, I'm not going to bring y'all stuff and say this is the fact and not be accurate unless I, say we're just speculating, like the fact that this guy that we're talking about now that committed these homicides could possibly be the ex-boyfriend of the grandmother's sister. That's a speculation. We don't know that to be true. Crystal said, I don't feel like it was a robbery. I feel like it was something else. What do you think it was, Crystal?
Being first always is, you
those
want
are
to be
the top two goals is first and correct. But if you, I've really never talked to a manager. There should not that would ever say, yeah, we would.
All right, I'm going to skip it ahead a little bit.
People can find things out just by seeing the news come out, and it's a headline about their own son releasing that to the media, and then correct information. And so these are the types of stories that consumers, people. Also, I listened to a press conference last night about a killer that was arrested in Arkansas, an alleged killer. Police said they were intentionally withholding information because they didn't want the suspect to then know that they were quote unquote onto him. Right. So there are cases
for a suspect or suspects.
I'm skipping it ahead because they're just chit chat
or people who did this.
I was about to say that the TBI said they're looking for a suspect or suspects. Yeah, where I think that's going to be, what was the if there was any, sometimes there's never a motivation and you just never know the answer as to why, but who did this and how is this how did this happen?
Yeah, and we know Dryden will be on top of this, and we will be as well in our newsroom as.
Okay, so that's all of that. Here we have the man. This one looks a little bit newer, so we'll look at this one real quick. Oh, I like that. That is cute. That little outfit right there. I would wear that to the Walmart, y'all. I would wear that right there to Walmart. I sure would.
Right now, the TBI has
Let me
just
stop.
identified a suspect in the deaths of 4 people out of West Tennessee. The TBI has issued warrants for this man. This is Austin.
So, okay. I just had it up. The father was 21, the mother was 20, the grandma's 38, and the uncle is 15. Let's see. I don't have their names. I know the grandmother's last name is Rose. And then Braden Williams. I think Braden, not sure if it's Williams or Wilson, was the uncle who was only 15 years old. A 15-year-old kid, y'all. Okay, JoJo. Tom said I wouldn't wear that to Walmart. I hope you would not. Pepper, this happened yesterday. Tuesday is when we got the news about it, and we had talked about it yesterday. The baby. She does. I would be the fanciest person at the Walmart. I probably would. Hey, AM. Walmart has nice things. Lately, they've been selling. They have. They like upgraded, and it is nice. Hey, Irene. No, that baby looks just like him. Hey, Teresa. I have a brain injury, so TBI means traumatic brain injury. Oh, yeah. Rather than the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, I'm doing it in my head, and every time I think the brain injury said, I do that too, Teresa. You're not alone. They are. They're all so freaking young. It's sad.
Austin Robert Drummond.
Hold on, let me back it up so y'all can get the full name.
Robert Drummond, or this man. This is Austin Robert Drummond. He is facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder and aggravated kidnapping. Now, the victims are believed to be the family members of a baby who was abandoned in a stranger's yard out in Dyer County earlier this week. Now, at this time, the TBI says Drummond should be considered armed and dangerous.
Ever wondered about the science behind
Oh
a
my
knock?
goodness. No. It was Adriana Williams, Matthew Wilson. I think it's Crystal Rose and Braden Williams. I believe is their names. I had to write it down. Okay. Let's go back. All right, I think that's about all we have on that right now, but I will jump to YouTube and show you guys what I have on there. Yeah, see, hold on. I know you can't see yet, but I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull it up. So this was like 12 minutes ago, no views. This is a short.
Right now, the TBI has just identified a suspect in the deaths of 4 people out of West Tennessee. The TBI has issued warrants for this man. This is Austin Robert Drummond. He is facing multiple charges.
I think that's the one we just watched, but there's the car, there's the pictures of him,
including first-degree murder and aggravated kidnapping. Now, the victims are believed to be the family members of a baby who was abandoned in a stranger's yard out in Dyer County earlier this week. Now, at this time, the TBI says Drummond should be considered armed and dangerous. Right now, the TBI has just...
Okay, I saw that one, and then Icked Mail is covering it, and then we have this one from 40 minutes ago.
Let's go to this breaking news. The TBI has identified a suspect in a quadruple murder investigation that covers 2 counties in West Tennessee. Agents are right now looking for 28-year-old Austin Drummond. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. Now, this is what investigators have revealed about the case so far. Someone abandoned a baby girl outside a stranger's home. The very next day, her family was found dead on the side of the road.
That's so sad. Who is it? Strada. Hey, Strada. There you are. Good to see you. Yes, y'all know I do. I go to Walmart. It's like either August, September, or October, they'll clearance the toys because they're getting ready to put all the new Christmas toys in there. So if you go on that clearance aisle around that time, you can get your grandchildren, your children toys. That's what I do. I'll go when it's on clearance, and I'll get it then, and then you just put it up. until then. I also got some fake nails for one of the girls off of Amazon that was like marked down to like $3 for like a 96 little fake nail set.
Witnesses saw a vehicle drop that baby off Tuesday in someone's front yard in Dyer County. Now, officers quickly identified the baby and then started looking for the family, but investigators found them dead about 40 minutes north in Lake County. Police have identified that baby's parents as Matthew Wilson and Adriana Williams, as well as two other victims, Courtney and a 15-year-old boy. And this is breaking just moments ago. The TBI has identified a suspect in the case, and you can go to WKRN.com to see all of the information about this case.
She's so young. Like, y'all, I'm her age. Good gracious. Yeah. You can get it on sale. I do too. Hey, Soup. 75% clearance toys at Target this morning. That's awesome, Soups. I like Target too, but I don't go there a lot. All right. So that's what we have. His name is Austin Robert Drummond. He's 28 and his date of birth is August 31st of 1996. That's what we have on the baby. Now we will go real quick. I do have an update on the Bibb County 7, and then we'll do the Devil's Den because there's quite a bit on that. So we'll do that one last. See, there, all those videos are for that. The Arkansas governor spoke on it. Good Lord. I put that there, but there's our suspect for Devil's Den. We're going to come back to that. Let me show y'all what I found. We got new information on the Bibb County 7 from a day ago, 2 days ago, and 17 hours ago. So let me get my timestamp. We are at 102:48. 2:48. Bibb County 7. All right. Now, if you don't remember this case, these 7 people were arrested for trafficking their own children. I will show you a quick breakdown before we go into the new information I have on it. I'm going to play this one, even though we've seen it, to kind of give people. No.
Well, you don't need somebody to.
We are taking.
I want to give y'all an update real quick so y'all remember what case this is. It's horrific. It's one we've talked about for a little while. They're letting information out kind of slowly.
Taking a deeper look into the suspects charged in the child sex abuse case that's rocking Bibb County. 7 people are charged with crimes involving children as young as 3, including rape, human trafficking, and sexual torture. ABC 3340's Gracie Johnson looked into the criminal backgrounds of the suspects, and what she found may surprise you. Gracie?
Brenda, I spent the day digging through court records to learn more about the 7 people now facing several disturbing charges.
So this is a new one. We'll go ahead and watch this, but I'll play another older video to kind of update you on the case. Basically, they had children in a bunker underground, and they would make up to $1,000 a day by drugging these children and tying them up and letting people come sexually abuse them. There was a family involved. Some of the people involved were the parents of the children. There's one gang member. It's really sad and it's really triggering.
Shockingly, most of them have no serious criminal history in the state of Alabama prior to the child sex abuse investigation.
She does.
Authorities in Bibb County say the details of this case are unlike anything they've ever seen. An alleged underground operation involving child sex abuse.
See, that's where they were keeping the children at. They would drug them and they would take them down there. The police said that there might still be victims out there that could possibly like have faded memories of what happened because they were drugged. And they have identified more than the 7, I think it was 7 or 15. It was some large number of children that had been abused when this first came out, ranging in ages from 3 years old to 15 years old. This is in Alabama, Bibb County, Alabama.
Human trafficking and a hidden bunker. 10 children have been identified as victims so far, and 7 adults are behind bars.
Some of the victims, the offenders, were their parents and different relatives and things like that.
I spent the day digging through court and criminal records, trying to learn more about who
Hey,
these
Hannah.
suspects are. Most of them had no serious criminal history in Alabama, most only facing minor traffic violations until now. Rebecca Brewer is charged with 8 counts of human trafficking and kidnapping and 3 counts of sexual torture, but I found no prior criminal record. William McElroy, Dalton Terrell, and Andres Trejo Velazquez are each charged with multiple counts of rape, sodomy, human trafficking, and kidnapping, also with no known serious prior state charges. Ricky Terrell is charged with rape and previously faced drug-related offenses and possession of contraband. Sarah Terrell now faces charges of sexual torture and 2 counts of sexual abuse of a child less than 12 years old. I found 1 previous charge for hindering prosecution. Timothy St. John had the longest rap sheet, including theft and criminal trespassing, criminal mischief, burglary, and other drug-related charges.
Now, he's the one that was charged with bestiality and animal cruelty, and he's got the longest rap sheet. I found that interesting.
All 7 suspects remain in custody at the Bibb County Jail, awaiting future court proceedings in connection to the Bibb County child sex abuse investigation. The defense team for one of the 7 suspects has filed a motion to restrict media coverage and public access to pre-trial court proceedings. The move aims to protect the defendant's right to a fair trial by limiting exposure to potentially prejudicial information. A judge has not yet ruled on the motion. I'll break down more on what the motion requests coming up at 5 o'clock. Brenda.
I'll see if I can get that. I submitted a FOIA request in that case as soon as we covered it the first time. AM said, "This is so sad. This country has too many people with mental health issues. I think we need to bring it down and look for ways to get families to be closer and have strong moral values." I agree. Actually, a lot of animals drive out the weak and unwanted. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, so we've got 2 videos about what a former teacher said about this situation, and then we've got the confirmed gang affiliation. Serenos. All right, so let's see what the former teacher said.
Now to continuing coverage of the Bibb County child sex abuse case involving 10 young victims. A former teacher now says she raised red flags about one of those children nearly a year before the case surfaced. ABC 3340's Gracie Johnson spoke with her today.
I just feel like it should have been looked into more.
A former Bibb County teacher asked us not to identify her, but says she recognized something wasn't right with a child believed to be one of 10 victims in a Bibb County sex abuse case. It was the 2023-24 school year, and she says one of her students stood out for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, no.
She was in my class, and she was just very delayed developmentally, and, you know, there could be billions of reasons, but now with all this coming out, it's kind of like that's probably why.
The teacher says school staff reported the child's condition more than once to school administrators.
It was multiple times. No, it never really got better.
The teacher tells me that reports are typically made directly to the school counselor, who would then...
Miss Scorpio, I might be close to there in the next 6 months or so, not southeast, southwest Missouri. I have a little bit of land up in Holiday Island, Arkansas, which is right by Missouri, I believe, or Minnesota. I can't remember which one's above it, but I don't, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Kofi, you got to do homework, and I wanted to, this is sad.
Contact necessary external agencies. Investigators say at least 10 children were drugged and abused in an underground bunker. 7 adults now behind bars and facing a long list of charges, including rape, human trafficking, and kidnapping.
look at our lineup of our suspects here. Aren't they just lovely? Aren't they just lovely? If Alabama isn't already made fun of enough, these poor babies. Yeah, there was some incestuous stuff going on as well, from what I've been told, from what I've heard about the case.
Kidnapping. Our anonymous teacher says the reports she made to school administrators did not capture the full extent of what investigators have now allegedly uncovered.
Knowing now that they were drugged and stuff, that had a lot to do with where she is academically.
Law enforcement says this major case wasn't referred to them by DHR until February 2025.
It's maybe not shocked, just even more saddened that nothing happened back then, like was looked into far enough for it to be stopped back then, and it's just been ongoing.
I reached out to Alabama DHR regarding these claims, and they responded saying the Alabama Department of Human Resources is bound by state confidentiality laws and cannot comment. Gracie Johnson, ABC 3340 News.
We also reached out to Bibb County Schools. As of news time, we have not yet heard back from them.
Lord. This is a shorter segment. Might be the same thing.
New insight into a disturbing story out of Alabama we first told you about last week. Investigators in Bibb County say several children were drugged and sexually abused right here in this underground bunker. At least 10 victims were rescued from that horrific trafficking operation. 7 people were arrested there, and tonight our local station, WBMA, is hearing directly from a local teacher who says she raised concerns about one of the victims more than a year ago.
Dandy Linus said, I think women would have the instinct to protect children, not participate. I would too, especially considering that it's their parents. And how many children, yes, we're back in Alabama. How many children were abused that don't remember? You know what I mean? Like, this case is disgusting. It's sad. I pray to God. I mean, is there enough therapy and help for these children? I mean, they're probably, like, I can't even imagine where they're at right now. They're probably having nightmares every night, waking up screaming. My heart breaks for them. It's really sad. And I hope to God they can get the help they need. And okay, so when we did the press conference the first day that I covered this, we did find out that they can receive the death penalty because of the abuse that these children endured at their hands. And I'm hoping that they do. These people need to be put to death. I don't care. It's alleged that it's more than likely drug related, but I don't give a shit. You need to receive the death penalty for this. I don't care. I don't care. There's not enough drugs in this world to make me do something like this. I don't care. Blame it on the drugs all you want to. It's more than that. It's not just the drugs. I'm sorry. There's people out there that do drugs and they don't never hurt a damn fly. No, absolutely not. Put them to death. That's where they need to be.
I just feel like it should have been looked into more, knowing now that they were drugged and stuff, so that had a lot to do with where she is academically.
That teacher, who wanted to stay anonymous for the interview, said she reported the child's condition multiple times to top school administrators.
She was just very delayed developmentally, and there could be billions of reasons, but now with all this coming out, it's kind of like that's probably why.
Just a horrific situation. So far, the school district in Bibb County, Alabama, has not officially responded to our station's request for a response.
Live with local coverage.
This is the next video we're watching anyway. Now, with the teacher raising concerns about developmental delays, I mean, to be fair, you're not going to say, okay, well, this child has developmental delays, they're probably being trafficked. Like, that's not what you would think. I think anybody that was in that type of situation, well, I saw some signs of some things and I did say something. I wish that, it could have been found out then and we could have saved, some of the trauma and abuse, that continued on for a year after that. But you would not, I don't think anybody would think, well, this child's developmentally delayed. Maybe they're being trafficked. You know what I mean? How many people are guilty of paying to abuse these children out there? It's a good question. I don't know that we'll ever know. Makes me think of Stephen Stearns and him drugging and essaying Maddie while she was unconscious. Makes me wonder if Jen looked the other way in order to get the money from it. I think she did, allegedly speculating. I'm back in Bama. Awesome. Parabola, let me know what you found out. Bestiality. People do not think about diseases even if they don't think about the depravity of their acts. Yeah, the parents are in the lineup. Oh, Maddie's mom. Good to see you. Some of the parents are in the lineup on the thumbnail. I can give you their names and their charges in just a minute. This is going to talk about the Andreas guy being a gang member. Okay, we'll watch this real quick. Hold on. While we're talking about the parents, let's go ahead and get the names real quick. So there they are, left to right. So the top left, starting here, this is Ricky Terrell and Sarah Terrell. I think those were the parents because they have the same last name. This is going to be Andres Trejo Valquez. That's going to be our gang member that we're about to talk about. This is Rebecca Brewer. This is William McElroy Chase, Timothy St. John, and Dalton Terrell. Now that Terrell, he's probably related to Ricky and Sarah Terrell. So Ricky, Sarah, and Dalton Terrell might all be related. They talked about it being a case of abuse that went like a lot of family was involved. So I think it's might be their property and like the whole family was doing some things. I don't know. Future family reunions will be held in prison for these fuckers. Yep. It is. Piece of shit. There's a, see, this is, okay, allegedly the bunker is under this carport thing right here. And then there's this, what, is this just like a room here or what? Like, it's not a house. So what is this? It's got a door and a window. And then there's this big carport and the bunker is underground. The sheriff had said, I know God's forgiveness is boundless, but if there's a limit, we reached it. Wade said people who were trafficking the children could make up to $1,000 a night. Began in 2022. There's a picture of the bunker. William Chase McElroy has 4 counts of, okay, let's see. William Chase McElroy is this guy right here, the biggin right here. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree rape, 6 counts of first-degree human trafficking, 6 counts of first-degree sodomy, 4 counts of first-degree kidnapping. This is going to be a trigger warning. This is going to be triggering. Dalton Terrell. All right, which one's Dalton Terrell? Dalton Terrell is this little creepy-looking fucker right here. He is charged with 5 counts of first-degree rape, 7 counts of first-degree sodomy, 6 counts of human trafficking, first-degree, and 4 counts of first-degree kidnapping. Our gang member, right here, is only charged with 6 counts of first-degree human trafficking. Timothy St. John, who is 23 years old. That's our dude right here. He had the longest rap sheet. The one with the long hair here and the beard, is charged with 2 counts of first-degree rape, 4 counts of first-degree sodomy, 4 counts of first-degree human trafficking, 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping, 1 count of bestiality, 1 count of aggravated cruelty to animals. Rebecca Brewer is going to be our biggin female right here. She's not real big, but there she is. She is charged with 8 counts of human trafficking, 8 counts of first-degree kidnapping, 3 counts of sexual torture. I think that relates to the children being tied up. Ricky Terrell, that's going to be our more than likely allegedly mom and dad right here. Ricky, this is going to be Ricky Terrell, and this is going to be Sarah Terrell. I'm going to read their charges together. Ricky Terrell has got 1 count of first-degree rape. Sarah Terrell has got 1 count of sexual torture and 2 counts of sexual abuse of a child less than 12 years old. All right, so that's their charges and everything. Really, Vero? That's interesting. I would think it would be worse in a third world country. But maybe it's not on the news as much. I don't know. That's interesting, Vero. Hey, Supero. I cannot. Charge will be in a piece of shit, rotten human. Yep. I don't know what it was, if it was a cow or a dog, some animal. All right, we're going to go back to now how we know that Mr. Vasquez or whatnot is a Serenos member.
This is the CBS 42 News at 5.
We have new information tonight about a sex trafficking ring investigation in Bibb County. Good evening. I'm Carly Lang.
And I'm Maddie McQueen in for Sherry Jackson. CBS 42's Avery Boyce spoke exclusively with Homeland Security and the Bibb County Sheriff, who confirmed one of the suspects is a member of a Mexican gang.
Homeland Security says that 3 things connect Andres Trejo Velázquez to the Suernos gang: tattoos, family, and alleged statements.
And there he is, smiling in all his damn glory. Vera says our culture protects a ton for kids, and yes, I'm sure not many gets posted in the news too. Family bonds here are stronger than what people say, and I think it's important to most. It is. And I'm glad to hear that. Hey, Jenny. We hear that here to take our focus off of what's in our own country. I'm grateful you aren't seeing this. I am too. And I'm glad to hear that the family ties where you're at are so strong, and I wish they were stronger here. So you cannot sex traffic a baby as straight up abuse. I'm assuming. I don't know. I would think you could get charged with it. I'm questioning that myself, Cindy. It was said that the family was involved in the first presser we did, but there's no charges for it. I'm with Bogart.
Trejo Velázquez is one of 7 suspects who faces multiple charges in connection with the child sex trafficking ring. Investigators say abusers paid Trejo Velázquez and 6 others to sexually abuse children as young as 3 and kept those children in this bunker. HSI Special Agent Stephen Sharank says the man is an American citizen, but multiple tattoos connect him to the Mexican gang.
We also believe his father was a suspected gang member who ultimately perished in Mexico in 2015 in a clash with a rival cartel or gang.
Agent Sharank and Bibb County Sheriff Jody Wade say Trejo Velázquez also told people he is a Serenos gang member.
He had bragged to different people that he was associated with that he was a member of that gang. So we were pretty much going by what he said and some of the tattoo markings he had that would show that you're affiliated with that particular gang.
According to Homeland Security investigators, Serenos are a violent gang with a long track record of committing transnational crimes. Special Agent Sharank says they're investigating whether the child sex trafficking ring in Bibb County is tied to the Serenos or cartels.
That is always part of an investigation of this nature, looking at the profit that is made and what is done with that. Ultimately,
hey, no room for you, buddy. Yes, there were parents. Some of the people involved were parents of the children that were being SA'd, and there's talks of extended family in also abusing those children. Unfortunately, it's nice to see you. Nice to meet you. He was the one getting paid, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, wait till they get locked up.
Those organizations do help each other in pushing product that poisons our communities and generates profit for their activity.
Well, the only thing I could do to reassure the community is that we're doing all we can to find all the victims, get them to safety, find all the perpetrators, and get them in custody.
Sheriff Jody Wade said that he could not say what exact role that Trejo Velazquez or the 6 others played in this. However, he did say that those roles included managing the money, scheduling the assaults, and providing the children. In Bibb County, Avery Boyce, CBS 42 News.
Good Lord. All right, I did pull this up that tells us about the Sureños. It's a Mexican-American street gang originated in Los Angeles in the early 1900s as a result of various factors, including economic conditions and racial prejudice. In 1957, the Mexican Mafia, or La M, California's first prison gang, was established by Luis Herrero Buff Flores and other East Los Angeles gang members at the Dual Vocational Institution. The Mexican Mafia was formed in part for protection from other groups in the prison population. Hold on. And recruited its members from Mexican-American street gangs. A rivalry subsequently developed between Mexican-American inmates from Southern California and those from Northern California. The Southern gang members viewed Mexican-Americans from rural agriculture areas in Northern California to be contempt and considered them to be unsophisticated and weak, while the Northerners considered those from Southern California to be overly Americanized. By 1967, La M was attempting to unify all Mexican-American gangs in California, and concerted effort was made to end rivalries between various groups and amalgamate them into the state's largest prison gang. However, the rivalry between Northerners and Southerners was solidified by an incident in which a Mexican Mafia member in San Quentin State Prison fatally stabbed his cellmate, a Mexican-American from Northern California, in a dispute over a pair of shoes. The Northerners then formed the Nuestra Familia, or NF, prison gang for protection from the Mexican Mafia, the Southern gang. To distinguish themselves from the agricultural workers from Northern California, Mexican Mafia members began to refer to gang members who worked for them as Sureños, a Spanish term meaning Southerners. Inmates from Northern California who were affiliated with Nuestra Familia became known as Norentinos, or Northerners. Although Sureños was established in 1968, the term was not used until the 1970s as a result of continued conflict between the Mexican Mafia and Nuestra Familia in the California prison system. When a Sureño is asked what being a Sureño means, members answer, quote, "A Sureño is a foot soldier for the Mexican Mafia," unquote. As a result of all these prison wars, all Hispanic California street gangs align themselves with the Sureño or Norento movements, with very few exceptions, such as Fresno Bulldogs and the Maravilla gangs of East Los Angeles. Due to its membership size, the Fresno Bulldogs is the only Hispanic gang in the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation that is able to remain independent. So basically, there's the Northerners and the Southerners are called a Sureño. And there's some of the tattoos. So is he from Southern California then, I'm wondering? Hey, Sandra. I know it breaks my heart, too, to think about those children that were abused. Instead of being grateful to have a chance at a better life, nope, be mad, resentful, and act towards the people that bully you. Yeah, I know. Fresno area is rough. I've never been there. I'll show y'all some images before we leave. So there's some images. Again, they're from the south, so they got south side. And then SUR13. Yeah. There's a hand sign. South side. Mm. Yep. So that's a little bit about the gang he's a part of. But again, even if we are going to talk about prison gangs and gang affiliation and things like that, if he goes to prison there and they find out he was trafficking fucking 3-year-olds, I don't think he's going to fare too well. If I'm just guesstimating or, assuming, speculating, I just don't think he's going to fare too well. I really don't. So that was what I found on the Bibb County 7. Now we can talk about Devil's Den. I was also sent a couple of news articles from, I believe, Cara and Sydney from sunny South Florida that we might be able to get into today. So let's talk about Devil's Den, and our person of interest, or our person that was arrested for that homicide. Sydney, Australia. I would love to go there. I want to go to Australia and gold hunt, as crazy as that sounds. All right, hold on. Let me get this stuff out of here so I know what I've played. Okay. So since today they have found out that he's actually a teacher. So we'll start with this from 15 hours ago. Devil's Den suspect
custody and charged with
Police say that James
custody and charged with 2 counts of capital murder in this weekend's double homicide in Devil's Den State Park. State police have just announced the arrest of this man, 28-year-old James Andrew McGann of Springdale.
Right,
he is charged in the killings of Clinton and Kristen Brink, who were stabbed to death in front of their 9- and 7-year-old daughters Saturday as the family hiked through the park. McGann was arrested by state police just before 5 o'clock this afternoon at a hair salon in Springdale. Governor Sanders joined State Police Colonel Mike Hager to announce the arrest during a news conference in Lowell that you saw here on Channel 7. Take a listen.
You commit a violent, senseless act here in our state, our law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice.
Now, I was really glad to see that the Arkansas State Police were able to capture him relatively quickly because, again, when you compare this to Travis Decker, I mean, Travis Decker's still on the run and still has not been apprehended. So I'm really glad that Arkansas State Police have found him. I talked to Mr. Speculating last night, too, because, as you know, he's in Arkansas with his family right now, and I told him about this. He said he had heard about it, and it's about an hour and a half away from where he was at. So I told him to be careful. Yeah, here we go with the bushy eyebrows again.
Because that's what the people of Arkansas, frankly, deserve. That's what they've asked for. And that's what this team has been able to deliver this week.
The collaboration between state police and other local law enforcement agencies, our federal partners, has been second to none. I also want to thank our media partners for helping us distribute important information during these past few days. Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the streets and bring relief to Clinton and Kristen's precious girls. And to the rest of the citizens of Arkansas.
Well, an emotional moment for Colonel Mike Hager of Arkansas State Police as they arrested.
Did you see him get emotional like the sheriff did in the Bibb County 7? It's so hard. These things affect them. You know that he sat there and talked to them girls and they had to get a composite sketch and all of, I mean, them girls witnessed that shit. Why would someone do this? I think it was to get the girls because we're about to find out that he worked in the school system. Now, I don't know if he was their teacher or not, but it's scary. I think it was to get the girls. I don't know. JoJo said this monster has jumped from school to school with allegation against him, and the school just let him resign rather than getting fired and lose his license. I didn't know that. I would love to know where you found that at. There are some of these clips I haven't watched, and they might talk about it, but I hadn't heard that yet. I knew he was a teacher. That was breaking right before I came live.
Announced that arrest tonight. Channel 7's Daniela DeHogany joins us now. You were working Saturday when this crime happened. You've been up to Devil's Den State Park. Walk us back through what's happened the last couple of days.
Sure, Chris. Well, it all started as a simple family hike at Devil's Den State Park, but by the end of that trail, Clinton and Kristen Brink were dead. Their 2 daughters left behind. Here's a look at how the investigation unfolded from the moment the tragedy happened to the arrest just made today, Saturday, July the 27th.
So, yeah, Abraham pointed out, wouldn't the girls have recognized him? And that's true. If he was their teacher, I'm sure the girls probably would have recognized him. Jumping state, the state, oh my God. His eyes are creepy. He was not their teacher. He had not started working at the local school yet. My goodness. And he uses 2 names. Gracious.
Clinton and Kristen Brink of Prairie Grove were hiking with their 2 young daughters when they were brutally attacked and killed. The children survived. Now, on Sunday, state police identified the couple and confirmed the case as was being investigated as a double homicide. Monday, authorities released a suspect sketch. Tuesday, authorities released surveillance images from the park of the suspect. And Wednesday, 28-year-old James McGann of Springdale was arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder. He was taken into custody without incident. The Brinks family says Clinton and Kristen Brink died protecting their girls, and they want justice. Now, some additional info tonight, Chris. There was video from Lupita's salon and a Facebook video posted by Adriana. Let's take a look at that real quick. It was posted on her Facebook page. She was apparently in the process of cutting McGann's hair. She saved the pieces of hair from him, gave it to authorities. They're picking it up right there. Now, outside.
Y'all see that? He was in there getting a damn haircut. Yeah. Forced to leave being inappropriate towards little girls in 5th grade. My God. He started his teaching career in 2022 at Donald Elementary, is what I'm being told. The target was the kids, and parents died protecting them. Yes, Vero. The parents died protecting their daughters. But what happened? Like, why didn't he take the kids after he killed the parents? Was he not able to find them, maybe? Well, they are collecting the hair. I would think you need the root as well, but maybe not. I don't know. Super Rose said, I can see this James McGann having a lot in common with former Hunters Creek Middle School course teacher Italia Bonini. Gaming, teaching, pedoing. Yep, probably. Yeah, I know the mother left with the girls and put them somewhere safe and then came back to help the dad, and that's when she was killed. So hopefully the girls ran or were able to hide enough to where he couldn't get them. Getting himself a fade for his entry to the prison system, absolutely. Yeah, the parents told them to run. They'd been brought to the visitor center. Wow, Lisa. Gracious. That's so sad. All these babies and children losing their parents, and then the damn children that have parents, they're freaking trafficking them. What the hell is the world coming to?
Okay, let me stop you for a second. So this was a video from outside. This is what we believe was the car that was widely reported in the aftermath of this killing. Investigators said that a car was spotted leaving Devil's Den State Park, a black Mazda with tape over its license plate, and we believe this may be that suspect car.
Yep. We believe that is the one, the 4-door Mazda black, as you.
And it did end up being a Mazda, not a damn Mercedes or BMW, like the one guy evidently was having a fit about yesterday, saying it's a Mercedes, it's a BMW. When we watched the guy with the podcast from Arkansas, saying that he talked to the guy that had the video camera that was insisting it was not a Mazda. It absolutely was a Mazda. One guy against 2 angry parents. He's strong or on his substance, probably. Yeah, and he still taped it. Yeah. Even though it's out of state, if they had got him on camera, they could have, identified him that way. So I've heard of that. I've actually done that before. taped the license plate when I was living a very different lifestyle. It's yeah, if you tape it, supposedly they can't get it, but I think they did get it. Because I don't know how else they were able to identify this guy so quickly, but I'm really glad they were. They also have a teenage daughter that wasn't with them. Yes, they do, Sandra. That is correct. There is also a recent case where the dean of a charter school got arrested for essaying student. Good Lord Jesus. The girls were brought to safety. That's why he wasn't able to get them, in my opinion. And I guess after killing 2, he probably ran. I'm sure the parents inflicted some damage to him. They did, actually. They said he was more than likely wounded. Okay, I will, Amy. Miss Scorpio, thank you for that. He's definitely no rocket scientist.
Can see right out there. Now, we also do believe that he was about to start a school year at a school. We don't know which school yet. He is from Oklahoma. Just moved here recently.
McGann. Okay, you spent yesterday up in the Devil's Den State Park area and into Fayetteville. This is a very popular spot for people in that part of our state, a beautiful state park. What was the feeling among people up there as long as they knew that a killer was still on the loose?
Well, Chris, I have hiked that park myself several times, more than I can count. And it was packed with people when I used to go hiking there. It was packed on the weekends. It was when the weather was good.
Kimmy, happy birthday to your daughter. That's amazing. I hope she has a good birthday. Hey, Wolfie, I need you to email me if you haven't already, because I want to send you some links to some videos that I have that you might find interesting. I don't know. I have some videos I want to send you, and I have them I have the links for them, but they're on my YouTube channel. I don't know how I could send them to you otherwise, but you might find them interesting for what you're doing. There said, I pray that those do though and try to fight for justice. He does not look happy in that mugshot. He really doesn't.
Yesterday, when we were there, empty. You could hear all the birds chirping. You could hear crickets. You could hear the water rushing. Silent. Radio silent. No one was on the trails. The trails are cut off to the public as of right now. I believe they're still going to be cut off for a limited time, but quiet. And when we went up to the campus, talked to some students that frequently hike there as well, they're scared. They're scared to go there. Their parents warning them, please don't go out there until it's safe.
Well, they'll feel a lot better tonight knowing that an arrest has been made. Again, 28-year-old James Andrew McGann under arrest in the Devil's Den killing. During that news conference tonight, investigators really declined to talk about the details.
Miss King, if anything, said, from what I thought I heard, was the mother brought the girls to safety and she went back to help the dad. That's what's been said, yes. My speculation is he was after the girls and went after the dad, and mom took the opportunity. Yep, that's what I'm thinking as well. He is very scary looking and has really big nostrils.
Of what may have happened in the park, what may have motivated this crime. We do know, though, Daniela, that it happened in front of the little girls that belonged to the Brinks, 9 and 7 years old, but they managed to escape unharmed.
They managed to escape. Now, what we know is that Kristen apparently saw her husband being attacked, took the girls to a car, had them safe there, went back to help her husband. Then she herself was also murdered.
And then it was the girls who went for help, and they came back and found those bodies. Again, we're looking forward to hearing more details about exactly what led to this arrest. But the breaking news tonight, 28-year-old James Andrew McGann of Springdale is in custody and charged with the Brinks killing in Devil's Den State Park. We'll continue working this story and have the very latest for you as soon as it's available. Daniela, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. This one says he's in custody and the mugshot got released. We will not watch the weather. Here we go.
On Tiffany.
All right, thank you, Danny. Well, the manhunt is over. A suspect in the double murder Devil's Den now in custody.
Yeah, look at that. That is a scary looking dude right there. Like, his whole freaking mouth looks like it's been smacked to the side. It just don't even line up. That's nightmare fuel right there. His face looks squished in the middle of his head. It does. It's weird. Like, what the hell's going on there? Have a good day, Amy and JoJo. It's crazy to think, though, that he would take on 2 parents to take the girls. I'm thinking maybe he was on some substances or something. Hey, Roxanne. Yeah, imagine him teaching you. Right. I would not want to run into him day or night. Exactly. He is 28, I believe they said. I could have that wrong. 28, 30. His name is James McGann, and he's from Springdale. Evidently, from what has been said in chat that I have not verified, he got in trouble for trying to essay some 5th grade girls. So maybe 5th grade, I'm not sure. Yeah, we do need to. I mean, we probably make some money if we invested in a company that sells commissary items. Right.
And we're getting a look at a new mugshot of the 28-year-old Andrew McGann.
Yep, 28. Let me write that down. These young people.
He was arrested yesterday evening and is now being held on charges of
Bella.
murder. Let's go ahead and send it out to 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi. He's live in Springdale with where that arrest happened. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Joe. Yeah, it was right here at this beauty salon here in Springdale where police say they were able to apprehend 28-year-old Andrew James McGann yesterday evening. Now, we're located right here on Huntsville Road here in Springdale. This is the beauty salon that you're looking at right now. Police say it happened just before 5 p.m. yesterday, 5 days after McGann allegedly killed Clinton and Kristen Brink at Devil's Den State Park on Saturday. Now, at a press conference Wednesday night, Arkansas State Police Major Stacey Rhodes says authorities are still working to determine a motive and are being careful not to release information too early as they focus on building a solid case for conviction. Rhodes confirms McGann had recently moved to Arkansas from Oklahoma and had secured a job at a local school. State police also credit the public's involvement as a key factor in McGann's capture. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders praised the coordinated effort, saying it took teamwork at every level to bring the suspect into custody. Stacey Rhodes says specific details on how investigators tracked down McGann will be released at a later time.
An arrest has been made. We are refraining from releasing much of the information that led to that arrest.
Yeah, I'm like 10 years older than him, something like that. I don't keep up with it. But yeah, I don't understand what's happening with these young people unless it's substances or something like that. 27, the 27 Club, because I thought I was going to be part of that club. It's the 27 Club. The guy from The Doors, Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, a bunch of people died at 27.
We still have a lot of work to do in terms of, securing a conviction, because that's our next big focus right now. But we will release some details as they become available that we think are pertinent.
Now, as of right now, police say that there does not appear to be a connection between McGann and the victims. But again, now that they have their suspect in custody, that is where this investigation will now lead into.
All right, Jacob, since the beginning here, investigators have been really sort of slow with releasing a lot of information, sort of details on the case. Any idea of when we may learn a little bit more?
Yep.
Yeah, Joe, police were saying that they were keeping a lot of that information close to the chest, as you just mentioned, because they didn't want to spook McGann. They didn't want to have him flee further. They didn't want to have him maybe go into hiding. So they said,
well, obviously he won't be worried about it if he's going to the damn barbershop or beauty shop and getting his damn haircut. He won't worry about a damn thing. Cara said, if I'm being completely honest, I think all these younger people doing these horrendous things has to do with full access to social media nonstop. In my honest opinion, social media was a mistake. I do agree with that. I do. I think that has a lot to do with it as well. Yeah, the 27 Club is very interesting. Maybe we can talk about it one day. Zan said, the suspect also just moved to Arkansas for a new teaching job. Maybe they all knew each other. It's crazy how they all just moved there. But I've got the information on the teaching job as well.
That they were very deliberate in what information they were able to release to the public. Joe?
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sure we'll learn a lot more here in the next few days. Thank you, Jacob. And we're learning a lot more about the suspect's background. Andrew McGann has a background as an educator.
Yeah, 5 News reporter Emily Moss has been looking into his past all morning. And Emily, what have you learned so far?
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. McGann is a teacher. He has licenses in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Authorities say he came here for a job at Springdale for this upcoming school year from Oklahoma. The 28-year-old just moved to this area. It's unclear what grade or subject he would have taught. We haven't confirmed that information just yet, but his licenses are for elementary and middle school. He's taught math and science and writing in the past. The Springdale superintendent sent a statement to the newsroom confirming that McGann was hired to work there this school year in just a couple of weeks.
So he was hired to work there. He has teaching licenses in Oklahoma and Texas, and he teaches math and science and writing in elementary school. Wow. What's up with all these people being hired for school that end up being chomos, chesters? I don't know, Vero, and we won't know until they say something. I remember seeing some shit on the internet in high school that I absolutely shouldn't have ever seen. I don't know if anybody remember. Oh, yeah, I remember Rotten.com and the cup or some shit. Yeah, I remember that. So this quote says, Springdale Public Schools can confirm that Andrew McGann was a teacher candidate hired for the upcoming school year who has not begun employment with the district. This individual has not at any time come into contact with Springdale students or the families we serve. At this time, we cannot offer any additional information due to the ongoing investigation. At the appropriate time, additional information will be forthcoming. Our entire team extends our deepest condolences to the Brink family. Their children are especially in our thoughts and prayers. And that was from Dr. Jared Cleveland, Superintendent of Springdale Public Schools.
But he also confirms that McGann has had no contact with families or students this year so far. We have not learned any new information for what McGann's motive could have been or if he has any connection to the Brink family. But during the state's press conference, Arkansas State Police called McGann a monster and got visibly emotional.
So, yeah, I homeschool mine because there's just too much going on at school. But I have the ability to. Not everybody does, unfortunately. Zan said social media might exacerbate crazy behavior, but not the cause, in my opinion. I believe we know about more of these cases because information goes much further these days. I agree with that as well. I do. Schools need to do better vetting the teachers they hire. I agree. I agree with that too. But if they have no criminal history, then how do you know?
Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the streets and bring relief to Clinton and Kristen's precious girls.
He just tapped when he said that he smacked the podium because he's so upset about it.
A very emotional night last night for those investigators who've been working so hard all week to find the suspect. Yeah, and we just got new information here into the newsroom from CBS. I confirmed that his last job was at Sand Springs, Oklahoma. It's a rural district just outside of Tulsa. And then CBS also confirmed to us that in his first year of teaching at a school in Texas, he was actually placed on leave due to some misconduct allegations, and he left by his own will when he was put on that leave.
Gotcha. I'm sure.
So he was a teacher in Oklahoma and in Texas. And when he was in Texas, he was placed on leave for allegedly misconduct, which somebody in chat stated it was for trying to be inappropriate with 5th grade girls. My God.
That'll definitely is part of their investigation moving forward. All right. Thank you so much for that, Emily. Well, let's talk about the victims for a minute in Saturday's deadly attack. 41-year-old Kristen Brink and 43-year-old Clinton Brink. They were hiking there on the trail with their 2 daughters. Their children, though, thankfully were not injured in the attack.
So Roxanne said teachers should have to have a clearance like police do. Criminal histories checked local and through NCIC to catch out-of-state issues and warrants. I agree. That would be a great idea. Because if they had known about what was going on in Texas, maybe they wouldn't have hired him. Abraham said this picture was from Christmas. How can a teacher resign and move on without investigation? That's insane. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh, I'm so sorry for what happened to y'all. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, I was reading that. Your son being bullied. Yeah, like I said, I was blessed with the ability to homeschool mine, but not everybody is, and it's scary nowadays. Hey, Linda. I was wondering if the Breeks were in the same area in the past as this monster and was afraid they might identify him. Just thought maybe he was stalking them or something. I hope not.
Safe with family. We also learned that they had recently moved to Prairie Grove. Clinton had transferred from a job in South Dakota, and he was set to start a new job this week, actually on Monday, delivering milk in the Fayetteville area for Highland Dairy.
One of the worst experiences that certainly I've ever had was making a phone call to the Brink family earlier this week. Nothing like that should ever take place.
Lord.
Well, the Brinks family released a statement this week saying that the family is asking for privacy during this very difficult time. Clinton and Kristen died heroes protecting their little girls, and they deserve justice. They will forever live in all of our hearts.
I think it's safe to say they will, and people all across the state of Arkansas and Oklahoma as well.
Oh, real quick, we did look at this yesterday. They upped the goal. Yesterday it was like 28,000. Now they're at 50,000. They've raised $38,727 of their goal to help lay the Brink family to rest and to get to have the things that they need for their beautiful little girls that survived the attack. I am going to drop that link in chat. I don't know why it went through that way, but hopefully y'all can click on it. I don't know. I'll try it over here and see if it works better. I will drop it in my description box as well in case anybody wants it. No, I think it's going to go through. Yeah, it went through as 2 separate links. I'll put it in the description box.
We'll continue following updates from state police and the latest developments as they come into our newsroom on 5 News Plus. To learn how to download it to your smart TV, just text the word plus to the number right there, 479-785.
Okay, I don't think we need all that. Yeah, the rest of it's not. Also, if you just go to Google and type in GoFundMe for Brinks, BRINKS, it'll pull it up. Okay. Here is the information. Okay, well, here's a couple of videos about him being a teacher. This
Now,
one's
out
pretty
of
short.
Arkansas, investigators there have arrested a man in connection with that double murder on that popular state hiking trail. Authorities arrested this man, Andrew McGann of Springdale, Arkansas. The arrest happened about 35 miles away from where this crime happened. He is charged with 2 counts of capital murder. Detectives say he is the man who is accused of killing Clinton and Kristen Brink in front of their children. The kids are okay, while the family was all hiking at Devil's Den State Park last Saturday. Earlier this week, police released a sketch of the suspect and hoped the community could help out. They certainly did, and they received the tips they needed to track this man down.
Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the streets and bring relief to Clinton and Kristen's precious girls.
Police say the suspect had recently moved to that area where he planned to take on a teacher role. No word yet on when the suspect will go before a judge. We'll monitor this story for updates throughout the day.
Okay, we're going to jump over to some.
So I want to bring in Tony Bruce.
Before we go to those videos, we're going to jump over to this email I got from Dainty Dane. And thank you, Dainty Dane, if you see this, for providing a link. Dainty Dane told me, confirmed, man arrested in Devil's Den State Park, double homicide, was a teacher in Texas and Oklahoma and just got hired in Northwest Arkansas. Late tonight, Springdale, Arkansas schools confirmed that James Andrew McGann was recently hired. Our records show he was soon to teach at Bayari Elementary. His school profile shows he previously taught at Donald Elementary in Flower Mound, Texas, and Broken Arrow, Oklahoma schools. His words from his bio are, quote, "Show me where the good trails are since I'm in need of a go-to running trail," unquote. Clinton and Kristen Brink were brutally attacked in Devil's Den hiking trail. McGann was arrested just before 5 a.m. while getting a haircut at Lupita's Beauty Salon in Springdale. This is the link she sent me. He was taken into custody at 4:57. According to the ASP, he had just moved to Northwest Arkansas from Oklahoma. He has no connections to the Brinks family. So they say he had no connection to their family, and he's being held at the Washington County Jail. He's supposed to appear in court on August 1st. So this is we watched a lot of the press conference. They said, quote, no news can heal the enormous harm done to the Brink family in last weekend's crime, but this announcement is a comfort and reassurance for our state. I'm so proud of the Arkansas State Police, park rangers, local law enforcement, and others who have worked nonstop since last weekend to capture this suspect. I ask that Arkansans lift up prayer and thanks for the brave men and women of law enforcement and offer prayers of condolence to the victims of this horrific crime. Let there be no mistake. We do not tolerate violent crime in Arkansas. If you target innocent people, law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice, unquote, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders said. Quote, I'm extremely grateful for the long hours and dedication that our angels put forward in bringing justice to this family. The collaboration between state police and other state and local law enforcement agencies and our federal partners has been second to none. Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the street and bring relief to those two precious girls and the rest of our citizens. Lord, I can't talk. Okay. So that was on that. I did get your email, Woofy. Thank you. There's, okay. And then after we watch about this, hey, Sarah. Oh, wow. Mr. Speculating is about an hour and a half from there right now. He'll be home Saturday, I believe. Okay, we got 2 more videos to watch on this, and then I can share 2 stories that were sent to me from Hio and Miss Cindy from sunny South Florida, and I've got another one as well we can talk about briefly real quick. Yeah, so let's finish out this story.
Bruschi, host of the Hidden Killers podcast, who's based in Arkansas and who's been on this story from the start. Thank you so much for being with us, Tony. A devastating story. You spoke with a couple that may have seen the suspect. I mean, what did they have to say? And when you first heard about it, your reaction?
They said they are 100% sure that this was the suspect that they saw on the trail. That's what they left us with. But what they brought in was a story much like many others that day, out on a beautiful summer day near 100 degrees in Arkansas, heat index of 104 that afternoon.
Wow.
And they were out walking. The couple was together with a brother and sister and a pet dog. And down the trail, they saw a man coming their way, and they immediately found him to be odd. He was by himself, but the way he was dressed in full black attire from top to bottom and on a mission, it seemed, wearing a large mesh backpack that was very out of place, as you see in the graphic that's on the screen right now.
So that is the mesh backpack and then the duffel bag over top of it. He's on a mission, but he has no connection to the Brink family. So what's the motive? Unless it's he went out there to target some children. He found some children. I did not. I saw that he was talking about it though, because I thought about going live and talking about it, and I saw that he was already on it. So yeah, Tom, I don't know if you're talking about the suspect, but his name is James Andrew McGann. He's from Springdale, Arkansas. He's 28 years old and was supposed to start teaching at the local school. Yeah, like in the way they're saying he's on a mission, what was he on a mission to do? Target the Brinks family specifically, or snatch some children?
They didn't know what was going on, but as he approached, they described it as a death stare that they got as he looked at them all up and down. And they all had very visceral reactions, describing it very much as bad energy coming off of this guy. And they didn't know much else until the very next day when they heard about it on the news, and they all looked at each other and said, that was the guy that passed us. And when the sketch came out today, which actually was based on their observations that they gave to us here at the Hidden Killers podcast.
So it was the other people who saw him. They didn't have to ask the girls. I thought the girls might have gave that description, but it was the other people who saw him. Probably soon, yeah. If I had to guess. Oh, okay. No, I think it is the same guy.
They thought that composite was very, very accurate to what they saw.
Wow. I mean, talk about trusting your gut, right? I mean, so many of us go hiking on the regular and it's, but when you're out there and you get out in the woods, you do sometimes have that sense of, man, I mean, there's places on hiking trails where nobody could hear you scream. Tell us a little bit about where this hiking trail is. You're from Arkansas, you're there now. Is this a safe area? Do a lot of people go there?
It is. It's just outside the city of Fayetteville and also Bentonville and Rogers. It's otherwise known as the NWA area, Northwest Arkansas. Walmart is headquartered here. So it is a very safe area. It has a very stable and good economy and very low crime. It's not what you think of when you think of Arkansas, I guess, a stereotypical version. It's more of a Colorado type hiking area. Outdoors is what they do here. We have one of the largest biking trail paths in the country. I think it actually might be the largest interconnecting all of these cities. And people use these things every single day without incident.
It sounds like whoever the suspect is knew the area well. And I understand that you have obtained some security footage of what may be the suspect's car. We want to show that to our viewers because, of course, any clue can help. Tell us about what we're watching on our screen right now.
This is some footage that we obtained here. This is a security camera off of a home very near where the park entrance is. This is the vehicle heading north on Highway 170, about 2 miles north of the Yellow Rock exit. It was described, and this is the words of the man who shot it, and he's also what you would call a car guy. So he got into it with me. We got about a 10-minute conversation on our podcast. Black four-door sedan, quad exhaust tips, 2 on each side, matte or semi-gloss black paint, tinted windows, black rims, small spoiler, sleek spoiler luxury design, no visible license plate, completely taped over. He said it's.
So we did find out it's completely taped over. Vero said it was hard to know who this person was from a picture of his back. Yeah, it was. Kane's Nana said, crazy to think he thought he could take 2 girls without them fighting and screaming and get away with it, and thought he could take on 2 parents as well. Jeez, I know. Sarah said it's a beautiful park. The terrain is very disorienting, though. Yep, he was arrested at the hairstylist getting his hair done. He's getting his hair done.
Sounded like an active exhaust, probably going 60 to 70 miles an hour. He, unlike what the police have put out right now, he disagrees. He's not sure if it's a Mazda. He said it could be, but in his opinion, it might not be. He thought.
Okay, I think this is from yesterday. So we saw that one. Let's go back to the playlist. Because that's where he talks about the guy thinking that it was a different kind of car.
This morning, we're shining our spotlight on the case at the state park in Arkansas called Devil's Den, where authorities have arrested a 28-year-old school teacher.
Okay, so this is from 5 hours ago.
Andrew James McGann. This is him. He was apprehended while he was in a barbershop about to get his hair cut. His arrest is in connection to the deaths of this married couple, Clinton and Kristen Brink. They were out hiking in a remote area of the park with their 2 young daughters when they were murdered. Their daughters were left unharmed. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders had this to say to reporters after the arrest, quote, "If you commit a violent, senseless act here in our state, our law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice, because that's what the people of Arkansas frankly deserve." Now, this arrest comes a day after police released a brand new image of who they say is the man who they wanted for questioning. This is the image right here, a picture taken from behind by somebody who just happened to be out on a trail. Gosh, it gives me chills. Thank goodness for that. And they were able to apprehend this man, a 28-year-old school teacher, had just moved to Arkansas, was about to start a job, and police say he did this double homicide. Let's bring in two of the best investigators around. I have with me Manuel Gomez and Lieutenant Mike Gould. Both of these gentlemen served in the NYPD. Both of them served in our military. Great to have you both on the program this morning. So let's talk a little bit about what it's like in the hunt for a suspect like this. For those of us who are ignorant and in the public and have never done one of these searches, as you both have done many in your careers, what is it like when you're trying to track down somebody that could potentially be a threat to other people and could potentially harm other people before the capture?
And when we talk about that, if you think about people in the past, like the shooter, the DC shooter and all of that, it's like, once you find out something this horrible has happened, it's a race against time to find this person before they kill again. I mean, imagine if he wasn't found. Again, I mean, Travis Decker still hasn't been found. It's a scary thought.
Manuel, would you start us off, please?
Well, I have to first say, outstanding to the absolute resolute effort of the law enforcement in Arkansas for taking this monster off the street. Great job. Outstanding. This almost was the perfect murder. He had the right location. There was no cameras. If it wasn't that he showed up at that salon and that they identified the clothes he was wearing, he might have gotten away with this. So thank God for the relentlessness of the Arkansas police. Doing a case like this, you have to turn up every stone. This was an investigator's nightmare because, like I said, it was the sheer luck of that one person accidentally taking a picture of that guy that broke the ice on this case. Again, this was an investigator's nightmare, but it turned out to be a blessing because it just shows law enforcement will not quit.
Isn't that the truth? God bless those men and women in law enforcement who captured this guy, and God bless you both for your service in law enforcement. Not an easy job. It is. I say it's the toughest job in the world, and I really mean that. Lieutenant Gould, let me go to you next. Your thoughts on the capture and take us kind of behind the scenes. What's it like when you do a case like this?
Yeah, Julie, and thanks for having me. And of course, I agree with Manuel. This is a great day for law enforcement, another great day for law enforcement. But just in the last few months, we've had these horrendous murders by men in their late 20s. Luigi Mangione, the Midtown shooter just yesterday. And they were intelligent people, obviously some element of mental disorder. So as far as the apprehension, in this day and age, most often you can run, but you can't hide. Even in these rural environments that used to be you'd get lost, there's trail cameras actually now. The Idaho shooter recently who killed the firefighters was picked up on a trail camera. So digital footprints are really difficult to avoid. Could be time consuming. They could disappear in these rural areas for weeks and months, but there hasn't been really, if you think about it, apprehension is always likely eventually.
But see, I mean, then you talk about Travis Decker. I still can't believe we have not gotten Travis Decker yet. No room for you, buddy, says my hat goes off to law enforcement. I just hope the prosecution does their job and keeps him behind bars. Lord knows I hope they do as well. Double homicide, leaving 2 precious young children behind, 3 actually. Yeah, he absolutely needs to do life in prison, if not the death penalty. They did seem like a really happy couple. Doesn't need there to be a tragedy for people to take action and have surveillance everywhere, in my opinion. You absolutely should, because you never know.
Truly, because they just can't stay in the wilderness forever, and they have to show themselves around the residential community, and then that's where people are alerted to him. He's going to need another vehicle, food, and so forth. So, and they don't go that far. Generally speaking, they're located within a reasonable proximity to the crime.
Really helpful points you both are giving us. Lieutenant, thank you for that. Speaking of the guys at the barbershop, he's going to get his hair cut, like no big deal. I'm just going to go about my life. You're right. He didn't go far at all. This guy, we have some information on him. I want to share it with you both now. Teacher at a small Oklahoma school district until May. Then he resigned to take another job in another state, had not yet started this new job in Arkansas at the Springdale Public School District.
So it says Devil's Den suspect arrested. Key details on Andrew James McGann, teacher at a small Oklahoma school district until May, and then resigned to take job in another state. Had not yet started his new job in Arkansas at Springdale Public School. Parent of a former student describes McGann as the, quote, most standoff teacher she had ever met, unquote. State police arrest McGann at a barbershop in Springdale, Arkansas. Most standoff teacher she had ever met. That's going to be a key factor in identifying these people. A teacher that's real standoffish from the students, and anything weird the students are reporting. I don't know, Shraddha. Parents need to give their kids some of those alarm keychains that go off when the pin is pulled. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Holly, good to see you. Aw. I hope everything was good.
Parents of a former teacher described him as, quote, the most standoff teacher she had ever met. Wow. State police arrested him at that barbershop, like I mentioned, in Springdale, Arkansas. He is 28 years old. I think a lot of people wondering, is there any connection with him and this couple? I know our facts are limited, but I would love an educated guess. Manuel, your thoughts on that, please.
I don't think that there is any connection with him and his couple. I do believe that he is a serial killer, and that he was just going out there to do it again. He put duct tape on his license plate because he knew what he was going to do.
So it's premeditated. It's premeditated, but I don't know that he's necessarily a serial killer.
Randomly picked these people out. There was no connection. I don't believe this was his first murder. It was too well done. It was normal for him. And if you look at him, he has that same stoic look as Brian Kohlberger. I mean, when I look at him, wow. I see a mirror image of him. And like the lieutenant said, we've had Luigi Mangione. We've got the guys walking around with a rifle in Manhattan. I mean, the murders that are happening now by our youth is insane. We have a problem, and we have a national problem, and we need to try to do something to change this with our children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really don't think he's a serial killer, but he does look a lot like Brian Kohlberger. I think standoff means not really trying to talk to the parents and trying to just be away from everybody, probably except the students, because he's allegedly a creeper. No room for you, buddy. Thank you so much for becoming a member. That was so sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I'm going to grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much. No room for you, buddy. I really appreciate that. Thank you. People are funny. Brian Kohlberger and LM, both from PA. Maybe they need to go look at unsolved stabby crimes in any place he worked. Maybe. I don't think he's done it before, if I'm giving you my opinion, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
You're right, Manuel. Thank you for that. Yeah, 3 daughters this couple leaves behind. 2 of them were with them at the time. Thank God they were left unharmed. Lieutenant Gould, I want to tap into your expertise with the use of canines. You retired as a commander, of the canine unit in Nassau County. And in a search like this, curious how valuable dogs can be in tracking down a suspect like this guy, McGann.
Yeah, so in this case, the digital and witnesses, like Luigi Mangione, was sitting in a McDonald's and he was apprehended. Dogs are invaluable. Dogs in this environment, rural environments especially, outperform any other technology. They outperform helicopters that may or may not be able to fly. They outperform drones, and they outperform humans, frankly, because they're odor detectors. So they can
Yeah, I agree with that. The dogs are going to outperform everybody and everything, especially in this type of environment.
generally go into these rural environments and pick up scent that's incredible. So in my view, they're invaluable, and certainly they were used here. But the fact of the matter was that this person chose to get a haircut, as you said, rather than flee the scene and go into the woods. But dogs are, maybe they're not as effective maybe in Midtown Manhattan as they would be, but in suburban and rural environments, this is their nature. That they're part of nature, and they're taught to hunt human odor. So it's really, they're magnificent. It's they actually have almost supernatural powers when it comes to odor detection and finding human scent.
I'm a big proponent in using canines in law enforcement, supporting the units that we know a lot of times rely on public donations in addition to what department funds are available. Would the reason, Lieutenant, would the reason that they're better in detecting, perhaps tracking a suspect in a rural area, versus like you use Midtown Manhattan as an example, is it because you have concrete in Midtown where when you have grass, you get foot?
Well, I mean, we know what the difference is. I mean, dogs in Midtown Manhattan, there's a lot of people and a lot to look for. All right. Miss King of Anything has pointed out a couple of times that the children were not left unharmed. They've lost their parents. And by saying that, it does lessen what the parents did to save them. No, I think they were just talking about canines in general. I think these cases should wake up law enforcement to be more vigilant that all these crimes are happening. Yeah. That's rare in a teacher, especially when parents are around. Right. Right. All right. So I do have two articles that were sent to me today that we can talk about. Oh my goodness, Miss Sarah, thank you for gifting 5 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Let me see. Yep. Hold on. Those went to Elizabeth, Corina Martinez, Shelley Stoned, Hound Lover, and Zikali. I can't read the writing, but it's very beautiful writing. If you guys were gifted from Miss Sarah and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Miss Sarah thank you. Thank you, Miss Sarah. That was so sweet. I really appreciate that. I will grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you, Miss Sarah. Thank you, Miss Sarah. That was so sweet. I really appreciate that. She said, choo-choo, bitches. All right. We're at 2:23:10. All right. I have 2 more articles on 2 cases out of Florida that I was sent today that we're going to talk about before we go. So I'll pull up whichever one I click on. Nope. Not that one. So I have to pull my Gmail back up again. Hold on. We're going to talk about this one, but I need to get the other one as well. Hopefully I didn't delete it because I was sitting over here cleaning out my email. No, I didn't. Okay. All right. We're going to go back to this one. This one is titled, Seek and You Shall Find Out. Record-breaking child predator sting nabs 48 people in Florida. 48 motherfucking predators, y'all. Sorry about cussing.
This fall.
This is in Ocala, Florida. A record-breaking undercover child predator operation dubbed Seek and You Shall Find Out has resulted in the arrest of 48 people, including 6 foreign nationals with ICE detainers in Florida. Marion County Sheriff's Office. Seek and you shall find out.
Hey, hands! 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 Get out the car right now!
Look at them moobs right there. If this part is cut out, I will try to remember to link it in the description. It's madness. It's a ring. Both cases that we're going to talk about before I leave are going to be out of Florida.
Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground!
Damn. I don't know if this is just showing off Marion County's like police force or if it's related specifically to this, but we'll finish watching this and I'll read the article.
Come to me. Walk to us. Turn around. Turn around.
Oh, cry, bitch. I bet them children were crying too, weren't they? Hey, Glitter.
My ID from there. I'm from Dubai.
I agree. Yep. So we got Joan Brown. I'm not even going to try that one. Salvatore, Jose Cruz Umana, Salvatore Carbarello, Jonathan Mitchell, Sean Grunther. I'm not even trying that one. Sean Riviera, Levanta Soul, Gregory Fogel, Jason Emajali, Terry Brown, Kahid Abudari, Sean Something, Daryl Rockwell, Kyle Olinger, Odell Harris, Sharish Derman Thomas, Ciburano Algare, Devin Fernandez, Fitzroy Francis, Mitchell Keith, Joseph O'Rourke, Charles Colliday, Clayton Harris, Benjamin Hoover, Aaron Martin, Timothy Miller, David Tompkins, David Romero, Navish Patel, Justin O'Connor, Brandon Monteford, Aaron Durate, Jared Watson, Brandon Ward, Brian Terry, and William Schneider. That was all of their arrests. Yeah, it was for this. Yeah, I know they're happy that they got all of these people behind bars, but that music was a little bit too much. Okay. So it says, quote, as a father, I'm outraged by the heinous crimes we spoke about today. As Attorney General, I'm proud of the brave officers behind this record-breaking operation, unquote, said Attorney General James Altmaier. The 6-day operation coordinated by the Marion County Sheriff's Office resulted in the highest number of arrests for this annual initiative. Quote, parents will never arrest every single one of them. Oh, parents, we will never arrest every single one of them. You have to know what your child is doing online, and children have to know what dangers are lurking online. As a sheriff and as a father, I understand the anger and disgust a parent has towards these type of individuals. I assure you that we will continue to attack this plague head on, said Sheriff Woods. The report states that during the sting, undercover officers interacted with these people who believed they were communicating with children aged between 13 and 15. Many of them made explicit arrangements to meet at specific locations where law enforcement was waiting to arrest them, per Marion County Sheriff's Office. The operation involved collaboration among several law enforcement agencies, including the Ocala Police Department, the Lake City Police Department, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and Department of Homeland Security, and others. A total of 40 men were apprehended on charges that included traveling to meet a minor for illegal sexual conduct and human trafficking. Authorities also seized guns, drugs, cash, and vehicles during the operation, and more arrests are expected as detectives continue to investigate. The report states that the operation revealed that many predators were using various online platforms, including Snapchat, to target minors. Altemeyer said that the Attorney General's office has filed a lawsuit against Snapchat, accusing the platform of violating Florida laws designed to protect children. That's interesting. So they're suing Snapchat. In these cases, mostly men, but there are women, unfortunately. Yeah, we saw that with the Bibb County case. The accused faced multiple charges, including traveling to meet a minor for illegal sexual conduct, 34 charges, human trafficking, 5 charges, using a computer to solicit a child for sexual conduct, 48 charges, all of them, unlawful use of two-way communication device to facilitate a felony, 40 counts, transmitting material harmful to a minor, 14 counts, traveling to meet a minor for illegal sexual conduct facilitated by a guardian, 1 count. So that means that this person thought a parent set up the arrangement, I believe, or a parent did set up, I don't know. Using a computer to solicit a guardian for illegal sexual conduct with a child, 1 count. Okay, so somebody thought they were talking to the parent of a child and went to meet them. Fleeing to elude law enforcement officer, 1 count. Resisting arrest without violence, 2 counts. Drug charges, 4 counts. Drug paraphernalia, 1 count. Reckless driving, 1 count. And 1 count of violation of probation. I'm glad that they got all of those people arrested in this record-breaking sting. Yep. Here we go. Here's goofing.
Yeah, gosh, something wrong here.
That's the only one that was missing. All right, and then I have this other news article for you guys real quick. This one's pretty horrendous. Florida family accused of caging and beating 9 children. Here's our lineup. Look at them. You can tell they're related. There's the dad, probably a son, if I had to speculate, mom, and daughter. Lord of mercy. This is from Fort White, Florida. 4 family members were arrested and accused of beating 9 children. And accused of abusing 9 children by locking them in makeshift cages, beating them with a cane, and spraying vinegar in their faces at a home in Florida. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office said that on July 3rd, deputies responded to a call for assistance from the Florida Department of from DCF to enforce a court-ordered removal of 9 children from the home of Brian and Jill Griffith, located at their address. According to OCSO, the children aged between 7 and 16 included 5 biological and 4 adopted children. Officials said this removal was prompted by allegations of child abuse stemming from concerns raised by a mandatory reporter at the Griffiths local church, the Church of Jesus of Latter-day Saints in Branford, where we see the Church of Latter-day, I don't know. I'm glad they called. The report states that just days before the DCF intervention, one of the Griffith children was found in possession of an electronic stun gun at church camp. Additional reports indicated that the adopted children were reportedly mistreated compared to their biological siblings, with allegations they did not even know their full names or birthdays. Good God Almighty. During a preliminary visit, DCF investigators reported interviewing the family and noted troubling dynamics within the household, including the adopted children being seen doing chores while biological children were playing or watching TV. During this investigation, it was reportedly discovered that a 10th child who was in foster care was confirmed to be safe with their biological parent in Arizona following well-being checks. As the investigation continued, disturbing claims emerged during interviews with the children. Allegations by the children included, Lord have mercy. Here we go. Being confined under the bunk bed with plywood screwed in to prevent escape, being locked in their bedrooms, beaten by a cane by Brian, being forced to lie on the floor while the mother, Jill, placed plywood on top of them and pressed down, causing splinters and pain, being sprayed in the face with vinegar as punishment, being given non-prescribed medication, being instructed to lie about events occurring at the home, and not being provided adequate schooling, which impacted their ability to read or write. These allegations prompted DCF to obtain a court order for the immediate removal of all 9 children from the Griffith home. On July 22nd, all 4 adults living in the home, Brian, Jill, their son Dylan, their daughter Liberty, were arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse, each held on a $500,000 bond. According to the OSCO, the adoption process for these children was conducted privately in Arizona before the family moved to Florida. Oh, you're good, Teresa. We're about to be done anyway. That's crazy. You can't. I got a clip for that.
You can't make this shit up.
Right, Kimmy? That is horrific. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people, but I'm glad these children were saved and rescued. My God. I don't know what's wrong with people. It's horrendous. God Almighty. All right, y'all. Yeah. Horrendous. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and go for the day. I am waiting on FOIA stuff to come back, so we will have our own information soon. But until then, we will stay up to date with everything going on, I suppose. And I will be keeping a lookout for Austin Robert Drummond, the 28-year-old who committed homicide of the father, mother, grandmother, and uncle of the beautiful little baby girl that was left in the yard in Tennessee. And I'll let you know if I find anything. Glitter is forever. Thank you for being a member for 4 months and sharing that. Glitter is forever. Glitter is forever said, you can't make this shit up for real. It's demonic. I know. There are no words. Like, what do you even say to that? Thank you for the hugs. What is Kaya? All right. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you for being here. I hope y'all have a good night. Stay safe out there. Pray for these people because good gracious. It's horrendous. with that, if nobody has told you you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And I love y'all. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being here with me every day. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I hope y'all have a good night. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't even know where to begin. If I allow myself to dream, will it be as good as it seems?